Everybody knows the people they have to tell to show up 15 minutes early to an event, because if not, you know that they'll be late. The ones who would be late to their own funerals, as the saying goes. Well, that's me. Prepare as I might, I can never seem to get anywhere on time. It's the most frustrating trait ever, but yet it's absolutely always my fault. Before I had my daughter Bryn, almost 9 months old, I was one of those people who took punctuality very seriously. I was the kind of guy who looked at the traffic report on his phone and made sure I got gas the day before. I even set my oven clock 5 minutes fast, so there would always be a 5-minute advantage. I was prepared for most obstacles. However, what I couldn't prepare for was the unpredictability of Bryn. Her needs and moods varied like all babies do. There is no rhyme or reason to her play. She did what she wanted when she wanted, no matter if it made sense or not. It's like she was saying, "No, Dad, I'm gonna lay here and eat my foot for exactly 1 minute and 27 seconds. If you attempt to remove it before this time passes, you will be met with total non-cooperation. Not to mention the crying and the flailing of limbs." We had a good enough routine before our mother left us about 3 months ago. Since then, we have just tried to make the best of our situation and establish new routines for Bryn and myself. These were the thoughts going through my head as I rushed to Bryn's 9th-month doctor checkup. We were early, set and out the door, and then she poked the nipple through her bottle and poured it all over herself. So back to the house, time to clean her up and repeat the process. It was 9:19 and her appointment was at 9:30. It would easily take us 20 minutes to get there. I'm not going to super speed or lane weave just to be on time. We'll just have to be a little late, again as usual. We were almost there, only about 5 miles left. I started to allow myself to relax my shoulders a little when Bryn started to wail. Oh Christ, not again. Not now, I thought to myself, figuring that she had poked through her bottle again. I can't take a dirty baby to the doctor ever, but not mostly for a checkup. It just doesn't look right. It isn't right. The pitch and repetition of her screaming was making my head feel like a kettle that was about to boil. Before it reached its crescendo of shrill whistling, I pulled over. If I knew then what I know now, I would have never stopped or pulled into the nearest gas station. Anything other than where I chose to pull over at. I pull over and I get out of the car and open the door to the back seat. There she is, snotty and red-faced. Her blonde curls sticking to her face with the sweat of frustration. My little sweetheart. She looks just like her mother when she cries. It makes me sad to think about, but I can't think about that now. She knew what she was doing when she left us. No sense in keeping her ghost around, especially in my own head. We had pulled over next to a little roadside memorial. A slightly worn but still pretty silver and pink cross was placed there with flowers withered by the hands of time, and various other trinkets of memorial. The name on the cross was Emily Semple. It looked to be a child. That had made me sadder to think about then when I thought about my wife. It's something at least I thought. A temporary mental vacation into somebody else's hell to be able to escape my own. I looked her over and thankfully she hadn't spilled her bottle. Maybe we still have a chance of being somewhat on time. I hand her bottle back, wipe her face, and I kiss her forehead. Maybe if I show her a little bit of love, it'll help her calm down. As if she knew what I was thinking, she threw the bottle and it bounced off my forehead and onto the floor. Great. I hadn't realized how much of a shameful mess my car had become. Napkins, empty bottles, condiment wrappers, baby toys, and maybe even a french fry or two. In my effort to retrieve the bottle, I had knocked some things out of my car into the roadside. The wind started to blow some of them into the road. So, not wanting to travel too far away from the car, I grabbed what I could and I stuffed the items back into the back seat of my car on the floor, to be cleaned or forgotten about at a later date. We made it to the doctor's office a whopping 20 minutes late. I sheepishly grin and I apologize, hoping that they can still see her and I don't have to make another appointment to come back. The front desk lady's voices were understanding, but their eyes certainly had not been. Perhaps they softened when they saw me juggling a baby car seat and a very loud pink diaper bag falling off my shoulder as I tried to continue to calm her down. Yes, she was still wailing away. A nurse with a worn face but kind eyes came over to me. Now, little lady, what seems to be the matter? That face is too beautiful to be scrunched up screaming like that. Are you hungry? Do you want Daddy to rock you? She turned her gaze to me with a smile. Why don't you take her out, Daddy, and bounce her in your arms a bit? Some babies just hate to be in their car seats any longer than they have to be. I smiled and I thanked her and I took her advice. Just as I got her out and sat down with her, the door opened. Michael Hollander and baby Bryn, we're ready to see you now. Come on back to room 4 with the white and yellow clouds. I gather up all of our things and we head back to the room. Bryn finally settled down and snuggled into my shoulder. Her thumb was in her mouth, so I knew all was well in Brynville. That was one of her happy places. Taking the thumb train to Brynville, her mom used to say. 2 vaccinations and a few spoons of ice cream later, we pulled back into the driveway, ready to recover from the entire ordeal. As I was pulling her seat out of the car, I noticed a little pink elephant with a yellow star on its side. I pick it up and I hand it to her as I take her in the house. I don't remember buying this toy for her. It probably came from her grandmother's house. She always dotes on her. Every time she is out and about and sees something babyish, she always gets it for her. It was just too cute, and Mimi couldn't leave it there when Bryn would love it so much. She would say, Irina or Mimi, as she proclaimed herself as Bryn's maternal grandmother. Since my wife had left us, she had gone above and beyond to step up and be there for us. I think it makes her feel better about the situation, as if she somehow feels responsible for her daughter's actions. My mother is long gone and Rena is such a beautiful part of Bryn's life. I would never do anything to take that away from either of them. It's hard to find people that you trust to help you. And it's become so hard to do it on my own. My phone rings. Speaking of, it's Rena calling. She had told me to call her after the appointment was over and I had forgotten. I quickly tried to think of some acceptable excuse while I placed Bryn in her crib. Coming up with nothing and mentally exhausted, I answered the phone. Hello? I answered. Hello, Michael. How did the baby girl's appointment go today? You know how I worry about our little princess. She asked me. Just a couple shots and a few tears. Nothing a little ice cream couldn't fix. She's in the 78th percentile for height and the 74th for weight, and Doc said that she's doing beautifully. I replied proudly. I can hear a subtle sigh of relief from her end of the phone. Good. I'm glad she's doing okay. Do you both have any plans for today? There was a hopeful tone in her voice as she asked this. Oh, no, not really. I'm just gonna get some cleaning done, and maybe head out to the store later to fill up the freezer. She made a sound, kinda sounding like an of disapproval. Mike, you can't take her out today, running all over. She just got her shots today and you don't know how she'll handle them. Why don't you bring her over here for the day? That way you can do your shopping and clean the house in peace. We have Mimi and Bryn time. After the meltdown and outfit changes earlier, Mimi time did sound like a good idea. I would miss her, but I could get so much more done and maybe even take a nap. She would probably sleep most of the day, like she always had on shot days. I agree and I tell her that we'll be over in about a half an hour. That'll give me a little bit of time to feed her lunch, pack her backpack up and take her over. I start the car, turn on some tunes, and I head down the road. It's a beautiful day and for once, I don't mind driving. I get to spend it fantasizing about my forbidden daytime nap I get to take later. I stop at what seems like to be the 100th stoplight, even though it was really only the 3rd. Tom Petty's velvet voice comes across the radio, so I reach down to turn up the volume. The light turns green and I start to accelerate, humming along and excited to get to her grandmother's house. Suddenly I feel a shock powerful enough to move my whole car. It feels as though my teeth are broken and cutting my cheeks from the inside. The car flips once, twice. I feel my head bounce off the steering wheel. All I can think about is my back seat. The car comes to a stop on its hood. My body is burning with white-hot pain. What I thought were my teeth was actually broken glass from my window. I must have gotten hit, possibly T-boned, I started to fear. My head swims and my eyes become heavy. I feel like a computer shutting down one application at a time. I'm trying to use all my senses to help me. I hear silence, no crying, no screaming. For the first time ever, I am terrified at the sound of silence. I managed to look back to the one mirror that had survived the crash. I see my little angel in the back seat, upside down, firmly secured in her car seat, motionless. Her neck bent at an unnatural angle and blood everywhere. The last thing I see before I lose consciousness is a little girl in front of my windshield. Her face is dirty, and she is wearing what I guess must have been at one time a white dress with yellow daisies on it. I fade away. My eyes shoot open as the phone rings. I'm at home in my bed. I jolt up and out to my mirror. I feel my head where it hit the steering wheel and there's nothing. There is no pain, no bruises, no cuts, or nothing. Confused, I run to Bryn's room. She was sleeping peacefully in her crib. Either I'm losing my mind or that was the most realistic dream that I've ever had. I rush to her. She wakes up and she smiles at me. Her little hands drop something as I lift her up. I look down to see that little pink elephant with the yellow star. I must have fallen asleep after her appointment today. The phone rings and it startles me. My heart springs to life thinking it might be my wife. Maybe her mom was calling to check on her, say that she missed us, that she lost her mind and she wanted to come back. I look at my phone and it's Rena. I don't answer and I let it go to voicemail. I'm still shaken up from that experience, and I need to get my shit together. I'll give her a call later. My phone then buzzes with a text message. It's Rena and it says, "Hey Michael, just calling to check on Bryn's doctor's appointment today. If you don't have anything going on, please bring her over. I would love to spend the day with her. Talk to you soon." Well, I'm definitely not going to be driving anywhere after what happened earlier. So I turned on some Netflix for me and the kiddo. I popped some popcorn for myself and I sat down next to her on the couch. I let her snuggle into me as we settled in like that for a little while. Halfway through my popcorn bowl, she started to eye it. She would look from me to the bowl and then back again. She let out an irritated grunt and furrowed her brow, looking towards my bowl. Smiling and thankful to have her, I let her have some. I walked to the bathroom, satisfied that she was at peace in one spot for once. I was only in there for 45 seconds, at the most. The living room was silent and Bryn was on the floor, looking under the couch with her butt in the air. I waited to see what she was doing, figuring that she would pull out some lost treasure out of there and try to eat it. She didn't move though. I walk over to her and I call out to her. "You spilled dead as popcorn, monkey butt. Did you find something good under there?" She didn't respond, didn't move, didn't breathe. My heart drops and I rush to her, picking her up and rolling her over. She was like a limp doll and her face was blue. I looked over to the popcorn bowl. I tried everything. I turned her upside down and I hit her back. I tried to put my fingers down her throat to remove the obstruction. There was nothing that I could do. It was just her lifeless body and the pink elephant at her feet. I moan and scream in agony as I fumble my cell phone to call 911. My head spins as I start to lose my breath. I look out of my window, and again I see the little girl wearing the dress with the daisies. Outside and down the street, staring in the direction of my house. Things tilt sideways and then the ground rushes up to meet me. I fade away. I wake up, again to my phone ringing, and once again, I let it go to voicemail. My heart is beating so fast that I can hardly catch my breath. I am very much still in the situation my mind was just put in. No surprise, it's Rena again. Or maybe for the first time. I'm not even sure at this point, honestly. I can't think straight. I have seen things no parent should ever have to see. Who is that little girl in the dress? Why is this happening to us? Again, I rush to Bryn's room. And again, she is there sleeping, holding the pink elephant in her hand. I take it away and I set it aside. She wakes up and she smiles at me. I reach down to touch her hand as she reaches hers up to me, slowly falling back to sleep. I let it all fade away, soaking up her smile. Whatever the hell was going on, whatever the hell I was stuck in, right now we were here. Right now we were very much alive and okay. Today we don't do anything. There will be no car trips, no popcorn, no toys in her crib, no anything that could hurt my little girl. It's my only job in my life to protect her, and I'll die trying. The same text message appeared from Rena and I decided to call her back. I try to sound as calm as I can, mentioning the same details about the doctor's appointment. This time, however, I declined the offer to come over, deciding not to tell her about the horrifying events of that day. We arranged for me to drop her off the next Sunday, and she asked, "What is baby girl doing right now?" I reply, "She's asleep in her bed holding onto that elephant." "Hey, you have no idea how much she loves that. Where did you find it?" There was a pause. "Michael, I never got any elephant toy. I would have remembered." I made an excuse about Bryn waking up and I hung up the phone, feeling dazed. I go to Bryn. I will take her in my room and put her in my bed with me all day. Nothing can hurt us. We just have to make it through the day and this nightmare will all be over. I approach her crib and she is still there. She lays silent, not moving, not breathing. I frantically look around the room for something to hit myself with. Something. Anything to make me pass out so we can begin this again. So I can have my Bryn again. I lost her mother, and I cannot and I will not lose her too. Where she goes, I go. She is my only light left in this world. It turns out I don't have to find anything. I feel my breath slow and the room tilt. The little girl in the dress's angry eyes follow me all the way to the floor. The phone rings. I wake up and I ignore the call. You know the drill. I run to my daughter and I wake her up. Only one thing matters today. I run to the car with her and I strap her into the seat. We take off in the direction of her doctor's office. I pray I get there in time. No red lights and no accidents. I get to the pink and silver cross and I pull over. The contents of my stomach emptying themselves down the side of my car as I rush out of it. I open the back door and I grab the elephant from Bryn. Her eyes go big and her lips puff out with the threat of oncoming tears. That doesn't matter though. I have what I need. I look to the sky and I scream out, "I'm sorry, Emily. We didn't mean to. Please leave my baby alone. I never meant to take it. She deserves to live." There were tears falling from my eyes and spit flying from my lips. "Please." I gently place the elephant next to the cross and I back away. I hope to God that I did the right thing. We just need to make it through one whole day.